According to a flash poll after the CNN debate, 67% of people who watched said Trump did a better job than Biden. Some media outlets today saying Biden's performance was so poor he should reconsider his run. Let's bring in pollster and communications strategist Frank Luntz. Frank, great to have you. Great to see you. So it's been almost 48 hours, but it doesn't feel like the dust has settled. Where are you at this hour?
It is not settled. And I'm getting calls and emails and texts and WhatsApp. What's going to happen? Is Biden going to stay? And I think the answer to that is pretty clearly yes. Did this make a difference? And the answer to that is pretty clearly yes. But the difference is going to be small, and here's why. Only 4% of Americans are truly undecided. People will make the claim, I haven't made up my mind, but they will have decided against Joe Biden or against Donald Trump. They just don't know if they're going to vote for the opponent. That's not an undecided voter. It's just 4%. But where this does matter is those key swing states, and in particular, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. They matter most. At this point, Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden among the other close states, Georgia, North Carolina, that you showed right there, Arizona, and Nevada. But that doesn't take him to 270. He has to win one of those three. And I believe that when the polling is done next week, Trump will be ahead in Pennsylvania, will be ahead in Wisconsin, and will be ahead in Michigan. Not by enough to put the race away, but this debate will have an impact. And one last thing, 50 million people saw the two candidates face to face, side to side. And that has an indelible impact on how people view it. They were not happy with Donald Trump. They were even less happy with Joe Biden. And frankly, what our group said was at the end, Joe Biden should step aside, put somebody else in there. The gentleman, your focus group, said exactly what I heard. Someone younger with Biden's policies and Biden's record will get Donald Trump a run for his money. Joe Biden will not.
So you, as you say, did this focus group of undecided voters in 6 states, and you got lots of reaction from them. So let's just take a little listen to your focus group.
I had seen what Trump had done, and now that I've seen him in action or inaction, I just think if the Democrats want to have a chance at putting someone in the White House, they need to put someone else up.
I think in 2020, Biden was a safe option that was relatively non-harmful to replace Trump. And frankly, I didn't think reflected these same cognitive issues that we see tonight on the campaign. Yeah, it was a little dry, but it was definitely not to the same extent, I think.
So Frank, was that the consensus?
Yes, it was and I was not expecting that. You watch within the first 5-10 minutes, the debate started so slow for Joe Biden that people were shocked. They had not seen him look like this. Remember, when he goes out and does a speech, as he did yesterday, and it was brilliant, it was very effective, the emotion, the passion, he's reading from a teleprompter. He's got everything prepared in front of him. He was not in a debate setting. I would argue that these speeches are going to help him survive as the Democratic nominee. But if and when they have that next debate in September, if he has the same performance as this one, it's going to hurt him. In the end, swing voters don't like Trump's persona, but they appreciate that he's prepared to be president. They do like Joe Biden personally, but they think that he's not up to the job, up to the next 4 years.
So did you hear from your focus group that they were taken aback by the level of lying that Trump was doing on the stage, or did Biden's performance eclipse all of that?
Biden's performance eclipsed all of this, and I do have to emphasize to viewers on CNN that the comments about Donald Trump were not positive. They did not like his sniping. They did not like his negativity. They don't like his persona. But Joe Biden performed so badly, and you show one of the clips there where he had trouble completing the sentence, that he had trouble making the point of view. They were so concerned about that simply eclipses their disappointment with or even disdain for Donald Trump. And this is something that Democrats are talking about right now. The New York Times wrote about it. The reporter from The Atlantic wrote about it, that if you want to challenge Donald Trump, and I'm not taking sides, but if you really want to ensure that you defeat Donald Trump, Is this the candidate? Is it really Joe Biden? According to my focus group, the answer is no.
And I'm just hearing from my producer that just now the Atlanta Journal-Constitution has chimed in also saying that it's time for Biden to pass the torch. Why do you think this isn't resonating with the Biden team, the various editorials and the focus groups?
I think that you put pressure on someone, it kind of gets their back up. If you're the establishment, as these newspapers are, it makes them more determined to prove them wrong. But we're now into late June. This conversation's been going on for 4 months, and no one's been listening to it because the assumption was when the chips were down and he was looking straight at the camera at the American people, he would step up. And I got to tell you something. I watched, just as you were coming to me, you had a clip of him walking down those stairs. I know what that's like. I suffered a stroke, 2 of them. I don't walk so well. I was shocked as Jill took his hand and he started to walk down the... No one's seen that clip. That one has to wonder, I don't know how to put this, but our democracy is at stake. It's not just for an election, it's for a generation. And that was not the worst performance ever. The worst performance was Donald Trump when he interrupted Joe Biden again and again and again in 2020. But it was the second worst performance, and it really did shock people. And even I was shocked as I watched Biden leave the stage.
Frank Luntz, thank you for sharing all of your research and your focus groups with us. Really great to get your perspective, as always.